my name's Grandad.
Hello everyone and welcome back. This week we're going to be covering the headboard. So we're just recapping on what we've done so far with the headboard. So this footage is taken from vlog
29,
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we're just showing you, so if you haven't seen it you'll know what we're doing today, otherwise it'll become
a bit confusing.
quite confusing. Once the bed was in place, there was a large area behind that we didn't want to waste the space really, did we? So we wanted to make a headboard, but
well, you wanted to make a headboard
that had drawers in it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a little bit more complicated than just a board. But we've utilised that space that was there that would have just been wasted.
It's a good idea, Nanny.
Oh, thank you, Grandad. So the boxes were stacking up, and by the time we finished we had 10. So we've got 10 storage boxes that are going to be used as drawers.
The boxes are made out of 9mm ply and they're all varying depths, just depending on where they sit on that far wall where the headboard is. And the reason for that is because there's less depth above the gunnel and there's more depth below the gunnel. So so obviously they correspond with the depth of the wall space at the back of the headboard.
Now the frame looks quite complicated at this stage, but we've just done it so it fits around the wall, and added the extra piece of wood so that they would act as like runners for the drawers.
And it was at this point I realised that this boat build wasn't going to be as simple as I thought.
The gap down the middle is for the water filler pipe, so we can always get to that if we wanted to, quite easy.
Yeah, there's no timber in the way, is it there?
No,
so.
And we're also not going to cover that up either. We're just going to have that exposed, so you just take that plywood facade off the front
and gain access to it then,
you can gain access.
You can work behind there then, yeah.
Yeah. So once it was all sanded and painted, it just had to go up, and that fits now nice and snug around all the spacing that we've got. The cable that's there we move a little bit later. So back to the present day and this vlog, and now it's time to cover it, to upholster it and just fit it in permanently. Before cutting the foam out, I'd used a spray adhesive to attach it to the ply, so that's why it's holding nice and solid. And once I cut these out, instead of just removing them and taking them away, I keep them in that hole, so it just keeps the rest of the foam quite nice and sturdy while I do the rest. Yeah. just using a serrated knife from the kitchen drawer. Another one ruined. But it does do a decent cut. Yeah, there's a few little bumps, but not bad to say it's not an electric knife or not a heat knife or anything.
Now she's decided she's going to cut the mattress up.
No, I'm not.
Or your old wedding dress.
No, I'm doing a layer of wadding over the top of the foam. It just helps to protect your foam and makes your upholstery look a lot neater once it's covered in fabric. I want to leave a little bit extra around the box, so I'm sort of like drawing around the box but leaving not a seam allowance but a little edge so I can fray the fabric at the end. I'll put a little note at the bottom of each piece that I cut out just to say which way up the fabric is, because the fabric has got a pile, and so whichever, if you have it upside down it looks different to when it's upright, or if you pull it sideways it looks different. And because I want the overall finish to look like it's different ways, so you get different shadows, so it looks like different textures where the pile is going in different ways. I wanted to just make sure that I always knew what the bottom and back was.
I'm with you lads, I have not got a clue what she's just said. I haven't at all.
Just realised the camera wasn't facing where it needed to be faced. Cut this out, and I'm cutting it out in 2 halves, so I'm going to work on 1 half at a time and then join them up when they're done. The centerpiece is going to have a more decorative bit, so that's why I can do it in 2 halves. Just works a lot easier. I've marked round all the boxes. I'm not sure if that was picked up on the camera earlier. I think I filmed going round the boxes. So now I just need to cut those out. But I'm going to stitch around each box first, and then I'll show you what I've done afterwards. I cut a band of fabric that's going to be the sides, the bit that goes up the side. But because I don't want the thickness of the main fabric to go under the bottom, because the drawers will be passing through that, I've added some ribbon to it, and the ribbon will be the bit that passes over the wood and stapled at the back of the headboard, so you will only see a little bit of it when the drawers are pulled out, so you won't see any of it really. So it was sort of like the ribbon will start from about there and then go under, and the main fabric will be here, joined onto the fabric at the top. I stitched it on just on that bottom side. Then I'm going to turn it over and just top stitch it on the top. I'm doing one at a time. I'm going to cut this one out. Do that. It's easier to snip the corners and cut up to your stitching line now while it's laying on the table. You need to do that to get around the corner, to get the fabric around the corner to make the square. One more left. I'll have to see if it works. So by the time you get to your last bit on your first half, it starts to become a bit like spaghetti junction. So
anybody want a Marmite sandwich?
Oh, yeah. If you're still watching,
yeah.
Thank you. So I'm just going to take my time going round this square so you can actually see what I'm doing. I think I know what I'm doing, but hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So at this point I've actually moved the fabric, the square cut out that I snipped to the corner. I've pulled that fabric straight so it's like running alongside the straight piece of fabric. So you're not actually turning round a corner, you're just opening that V so it all lays straight.
Is that the scrap pile or is that the finished article?
That's the finish. That's the masterpiece.
I'm not going to ask you to take my jeans up.
So, if you ever fancy making one of these,
that's all there is to it.
That's how you do it. No, bear with me. It gets a bit tidier in a minute. So this is the reason why I've done it in 2 halves, because if you mess up on one, I was having a nervous breakdown. I was. No, if you mess one up, at least you haven't ruined the whole bit of material. Yeah, it's just easier, because if you get one square wrong, the whole bit is wrong. So just taking your time and getting it right. I'm trying to film and lay this out here, so I'll put the camera down and I'll come back to you when it's all laid out nice. Ta-da!
Hallelujah.
So now I'm just loosely stitching up the middle bit, and I've already mostly stapled all the fabric around to the back, just so I can see actually how much pull that middle bit needs to be pulled in.
Did you used to work in an operating theatre?
Yeah. Oh, I took many appendix out. Just the sides to do now. And I just want to make the centre a little bit tauter, so I'll give it another couple of going over with my big stitches and then just get that so that bit becomes a little bit tighter there. So now for the for the boxes, and I'm going to be fraying around the edges, and I've decided not to use any foam on the front of the boxes and keep them flat. So I'm adding pieces on top of the fabric. I'm gonna, yeah, I'm fraying them, and also I didn't want to leave out our little special thing in the bedroom.
What? You can't say that.
No, I meant a heart.
Oh, right, yeah.
All the love in the bedroom.
Okay.
So I'll fray everything first, apart from the heart. I'll stitch around the heart first, then fray afterwards, because it's a little fiddly bit to be able to stitch on once the fraying's done. So I'll go around that bit afterwards. It's not a feature, I've just accidentally ripped that paper. So the next bit's the centre, the bit that's going to cover up that gap, and my
operating theatre stitching.
Yeah. And so I've decided to shape it at the top, just slightly, just to give it a little bit more of a effect, and the fraying becomes sort of like a different colour as it goes around the corner. Trying to hold the canvas still and cut the fabric at the same time is like rubbing your tummy and patting your head. I can also hear Grandad on his way down, because I know he's waiting for me to give him a hand. Here he is. What, no beer?
Bill and Ben.
What's he want, fluttering his eyes at me like that? So I'm using the Mod Podge just for the bit in the middle. It's not that strong, so I'm going to put some contact adhesive around the edge as well, but for this bit in the middle. Mod Podge is the stuff I used when I done the decoupage on the drawers. It's really good stuff and I really like it, and it does glue fabrics, and it glues fabrics really well, but this fabric it's not so good on. I'm only putting a thin coat because I don't want it to soak through the fabric. So once this has dried, I'll add the contact adhesive around the very edge. That'll also seal the threads to stop any more fraying. So now I've got the middle bit as taut as that I want it to be, I can glue the front piece on. And again, I'm trying to do this with one hand holding the camera, so you'll have to bear with me. I'll pull it down and get it straight in a minute. I've just tacked it as well, stapled it on the reverse. The reverse is never going to be seen, so it doesn't matter how messy it is. It's just this front bit that will be seen. So now this is all ready, just waiting to dry and ready to go back onto the bed.
My turn now, just to pop a couple of brackets, one at either side at the top, just to hold it in place when it's fixed back behind the bed.
Yeah, and we're going to be able to easily take them out.
Yeah.
They're easy accessible by taking that box out.